The smell of the chamber is cold marble and burning herbs, rosemary, myrtle, dried mint in 3 small braziers along the wall. Underneath the herbs, faint and slightly sweet, is the natron. You do not name that one. Your breath is visible near the lamp. On the low table beside the marble slab, your wax tablet is empty. 3 bronze styluses lie beside it. In 15 minutes, they will bring the body in. This is a medical scribe in Alexandria on a working morning in March 275 BC. By the time the sun sets, you will have transcribed the discovery of the human nervous system onto wax and carried those notes to a library that will not survive you. Everything you've been told about this day is incomplete. Today, we decode the real one. Alexandria, 275 BC. Ptolemy II sits on the Egyptian throne, and the city he inherited from his father is the intellectual capital of the Mediterranean world. At the heart of the Brucheion, the royal quarter, is the Museion. Not a museum in your sense of the word. A research institution endowed by the crown, staffed by mathematicians, astronomers, geographers, and physicians drawing a royal stipend. Adjacent to the Museion, sharing a wall, is the Great Library. These are 2 institutions, not one. The Museion is where the work is done. The library is where the work is stored. In popular memory, they have collapsed into a single building. They were not. For approximately 60 years in this city, at this institution, human dissection is legal by royal decree. It is the only sustained window of legal human dissection anywhere in the ancient Mediterranean world. Mainland Greece forbids it as ritual pollution. Rome will forbid it as sacrilege. The window opened around 300 BC. It will close around 245 BC. The knowledge produced inside it will be lost. It will not return to European medicine until Bologna, 1315 AD. That is a gap of 1,570 years. And in a chamber inside the Museion, half a kilometer from a harbor you have walked past every day of your life, you are laying wax tablets on a low table beside a marble slab. You were awake before the light. Your mother was still asleep in the inner room. The house slave had already drawn water from the courtyard cistern, and your breakfast was barley bread, a piece of hard cheese, 3 olives, and a cup of wine cut with water. You ate standing up. You reviewed yesterday's notes on the vessels of the neck by lamplight. Your mother has been widowed for 4 years. Your stipend from the Museion feeds both of you. The walk to the Brucheion takes 11 minutes at your pace. You carry a stack of prepared wax tablets under your left arm. The stack is heavier than paper, cooler than skin, and the top tablet still shows yesterday's shorthand in the wax. Along the seam of your arm, the tablets rest against the fold of your himation, and the wax gives off no smell at all. At the Museion courtyard, an attendant crosses to meet you. You have seen him almost every working morning for 6 years, and you have never learned his name. His voice is flat and administrative. Today's subject was executed at dawn by strangulation. The method was chosen because it preserves the vascular and neural structures for demonstration. The body has already been laid on the marble slab. 2 witnesses from the palace signed the manifest. He delivers this the way a clerk delivers a shipping list. Then he turns and goes. You cross the courtyard alone. The stone is still cold under the sole of your sandal. Inside the chamber, the 3 braziers have been lit, and the herbs are already burning. You lay the tablet stack on the low table. You arrange the 3 styluses parallel. You wait. Herophilus arrives with 3 senior students and a bronze scalpel wrapped in linen. The body is already on the slab. He does not greet you. He begins. He speaks in Doric-accented Greek. The dictation is slow, measured. He knows the pace of a stylus in wax, because he has been dictating to scribes for 20 years. He opens the abdominal wall with the bronze scalpel. He names the length of the small intestine at its start. 12 fingers wide. From the Greek dodecadactylon. The word he is coining will still name that structure in every medical textbook 2,300 years from now. Your stylus cuts the syllables into wax. He identifies the pancreas. He describes its texture in one sentence. He opens the mesenteric vessels and dictates observations on the branching pattern. You do not look at the body, you have learned not to. The words are enough, and the words are what will survive. At the perimeter of the slab, 3 senior students are standing. One of them is holding a second set of tablets. He is transcribing in parallel to you in his own shorthand. This evening, you will collate his transcription against yours, line by line. The Museion does not trust a single scribe with a single day of discovery. The Museion runs 3 scribes and cross-checks in the evening. The wax tablet under your stylus is filling. You reach for the second tablet in the stack without looking down. Your left hand finds the edge. You slide it into place. The first tablet, dense with abdominal vocabulary, goes to the side. Herophilus does not pause. He is describing the ovaries now. He says they are analogous to the testes. He is contradicting Aristotle in a working sentence without ceremony. By late morning, the abdominal cavity is complete. Herophilus straightens. He wipes his hands on a linen cloth. He asks the attendants to rotate the body. He is ready to open the skull. Still with me? Good. Because in about 4 minutes, that scalpel is going to open the back of a human skull, and a name is going to be spoken over the vein it finds. That name is still in your doctor's anatomy textbook right now in 2026. And the man who supposedly founded modern anatomy in 1543 was doing something Alexandria had already done and lost. Subscribe to Decoded by Jack. Stay with me. The attendants turned the body. The head is now on your side of the slab. The linen is folded down to expose the skull and nothing else. Herophilus reopens the linen cloth around the scalpel. He asks you to hold the blade for a moment while he adjusts the body's position. You reach across the low table. The bronze passes into your palm. It is colder than you expected, heavier at the handle than at the edge. The edge itself is dull. It is a tool for anatomy, not surgery. It does not need to cut clean. It needs to lift structure away from structure. You hold it for 4 seconds. He turns the head. You hand it back. He opens the skull. The bone comes away in a controlled arc. He lifts the outer membrane of the brain and names it, the dura mater, the hard mother. Your stylus moves. Then he pauses. He is looking at the back of the skull, at the place where 4 large veins meet under the bone. He traces the confluence with the tip of the scalpel. He says the name slowly. He says it twice. Torcular Herophili, the wine press of Herophilus. He is naming it after himself. You write the name. Your stylus cuts torcular in the wax, then Herophili, then a mark for the pause between them. The tablet under your hand is nearly full. In every anatomy textbook in the world, 23 centuries from now, that vein will still be called by that name. It survives because your hand moved. At the back of your throat, the taste of the resonated wine from breakfast is still there, hours later. sharper now than when you drank it. By mid-afternoon, the demonstration is complete. The body is covered with linen. The attendants carry it out for burial, as the Ptolemaic decree requires. You gather your tablets. You walk toward the library. The library at Dusk smells like three things at once: cedar oil, brushed onto the papyrus scrolls to keep the insects away; lamp oil, burning in bronze holders along the aisles; and the dry, warm scent of 100,000 rolled scrolls in cedar shelving layered on top of each other for a century. You take a low writing table near the anatomical racks. The last daylight is coming through a high window in a long, thin line across the floor. A library slave is going down the aisles with a taper, lighting the lamps one by one. You open your wax tablets beside a fresh papyrus roll. You dip a reed pen. The shorthand on the wax becomes formal Greek prose on the papyrus. This is On Anatomy, Book 3. You work for 2 hours. You transcribe the abdominal cavity. You transcribe the skull. You transcribe the name he coined at midday and again in the afternoon. On the papyrus, the letters are cleaner than in wax. The papyrus does not need to be smoothed and reused. The papyrus is meant to last. When the roll is complete, you tie it with a linen cord. You set it at the edge of the table for the library slave to file in the morning. Then you take a heated bronze tool from the writing case beside you and you smooth the wax tablets flat, one by one. The words disappear. The support is ready for tomorrow. That is the day. Now let me tell you what almost no one outside of medical history knows about the 60 years you were born into and what happened to everything you wrote down. Decoded number 1, the only window in the ancient world. Here's what you were probably taught, if the subject came up at all. The Greeks and Romans didn't cut open human bodies. It was taboo, it was disgusting, it was religious pollution. And so ancient medicine crawled along with animal dissection and guesswork until the Renaissance finally had the courage to open a real human corpse. That story is wrong by about 17 centuries. For roughly 60 years, from around 300 BC to around 245 BC, under 2 generations of Ptolemaic kings, human dissection was legal by royal decree at the Museion of Alexandria. It's the only sustained window of legal human dissection anywhere in the ancient Mediterranean world. The definitive modern study is Heinrich von Staden's Herophilus, The Art of Medicine in Early Alexandria, Cambridge, University Press, 1989. Mainland Greece treated corpse cutting as ritual pollution. Rome would later treat it as sacrilege. The Alexandrian window was structural, not moral. It required a Ptolemaic court, a state-funded research institute, a supply of executed prisoners, and a citation culture. Remove any one of those conditions, and it closed. The window closed. Human dissection did not become legal again in European medicine until Mondino de Luzzi in Bologna, 1315 AD. That's a gap of 1,570 years. Decoded number 2, the bodies were sometimes still alive. Here's the part that's harder to sit with. Writing in Rome about 3 centuries later, the physician Aulus Cornelius Celsus preserved a claim about how Herophilus and his contemporary Erasistratus actually worked. In the preface to De Medicina, sections 23 through 26, Celsus records that the Ptolemaic court supplied them with condemned criminals, and that some of these prisoners were dissected while still alive, so the anatomists could observe organs in motion. Celsus called the practice crudele, cruel. In the same passage, he acknowledged that no other method could have produced the anatomical understanding these men achieved. Von Staden argues, Celsus may have exaggerated the extent of the vivisection. Post-mortem dissection at industrial scale is not disputed. The vivisection claim is. Either way, the frame stands. The medical breakthrough and the moral horror stand entangled in the historical record, and neither can be removed without erasing the other. Decoded number 3, Vesalius was not first. He was a recoverer, Andreas Vesalius, Padua, 1543 A.D. De Humani Corporis Fabrica. In popular memory, the man who founded modern anatomy. Here's what he actually did. He recovered. Almost every major finding in his book, Herophilus, had already made 18 centuries earlier. Nerves distinguished from tendons, which classical Greek medicine had confused. Motor nerves distinguished from sensory nerves. The brain, not the heart, identified as the seat of thought and sensation, in direct contradiction to Aristotle. The retina described. The ovaries identified as analogous to the testes. The duodenum named for its length. And the venous confluence at the back of the skull, named after him and still called by his name in every anatomy textbook you can pull off a shelf right now. He wrote 14 anatomical treatises. Not one survives intact. We know his work because Galen quoted him, and Celsus quoted him, and medieval Arabic commentators quoted Galen quoting him, and Vesalius read the Arabs. The Renaissance did not invent modern anatomy. It recovered what an anonymous scribe wrote onto a wax tablet in 275 BC, and the world had to wait 1,818 years for the recovery. You tie the papyrus, you smooth the wax, you put out the lamp beside your table. The library is nearly empty now. The library slave has finished with the tapers. The high window is dark. You cross the aisle between the anatomical racks and step out into the courtyard air. 23 centuries from this evening, your tablet is dust. The papyrus you wrote tonight is dust. Every one of Herophilus's 14 treatises is dust. The Museion will not survive the next century intact. The library will burn in pieces over generations, and no one alive will be able to say which fire took which scroll. What survives is the citation, Galen quoting Herophilus, Celsus quoting Herophilus, Arabic commentators in Baghdad and Cordoba quoting Galen, quoting Herophilus, Vesalius in Padua reading the Arabs, opening a body, and finding what you wrote down. You are one of the reasons the world knows anything at all about how the body works. Your name is not preserved. The vocabulary you cut into wax this afternoon will take 15 more centuries for the world to relearn. Tomorrow, they will use the tablet again.